Now the plate, the one, the only, Myles Galvan.
13-year-old Myles Galvan is a sports fanatic.
It's a challenge.
His dimples give away his enthusiasm each time he's on the field.
I want to be a Red Raider one day.
Even in the stands, he's in his element.
I'll always be a fan.
That's why just by looking at him eating nachos, clapping, it might be hard to believe the curveball life threw Myles 6 years ago.
He was 7 and he fell. And when he fell, like his ankle swelled up like more than it should have.
But this apparent sprain needed more than a timeout.
He was finally down to where he couldn't walk. He was in a wheelchair. Nobody could still tell me what was wrong.
It was a call only an official could make.
We called the ambulance and they took us to UMC. The doctor had come in and said, no, we'll find out what's going on with him before he leaves here.
The play was up for review.
He says, worst case scenario, he says is that it could be leukemia, cancer. And I was like, oh, that's worst case. He doesn't have that.
But the final decision was game-changing.
So he got diagnosed with ALL April of 2009. That's the last thing I thought we'd have to be dealing with.
It was just the beginning of a very challenging season up against leukemia.
From there, we just spinal taps, chemo.
Makes you feel tired and nauseous and your bones hurt.
2.5 years of the same game.
Look at the same stuff over and over.
Myles finally came out victorious in 2013.
He was like a normal kid again. He was back at school, was back to normal life.
Or so he thought. A few months later, they found out the score was actually tied.
They did lab work, and they're like, his white blood count is extremely low again. And I was like, oh, what the?
His head coach, Dr. Muhammad Rahawan, told him the news.
One of the challenges with leukemia is that it knows its way to every single cell of the body. I think the toughest thing about it, though, is that knowing that when I go to the hospital, I'm going to get a medicine that makes me feel less well.
Me and Myles cried, and we cried that day. He was like, why is it back, Mom? It's like,
but even though he was tired and devastated, Myles stepped back up to bat.
He's a fighter. He doesn't give up.
Because if he walks away from this field, he knows what's on the line.
You'd lose.
But with his teammates by his side,
You better not be cheating her.
and his favorite fans,
Now hold it up like that.
he's playing his rival team all over again.
He's not battling himself. We're all battling it with him.
Myles is running, hitting 10 times harder than ever before.
He's more sick now. He's more tired now. They're just giving him so much right now.
And while his team is unsure how many more innings he has to battle, they know he'll finish strong.
It's a hard road, and we have to do it.
Just keep your spirits and never give up.